everybody, it's Daphne here at Laura Entertainment. We are sitting down with our feature. This is Jedelle Cook Givens or Nona Cook Givens, woman behind the man who's doing the cinematography for the Shattered Dreams film. She is his boss. Shh.
I'm the boss. He takes orders from me.
You doing, honey? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here this evening, and, I'm ready to be in the hot seat?
Everybody gets a lot. Some people, it cracks me up because they're like, "Oh my god, what am I going to say? Oh my god, no, man, this is not like Ellen or the mother, where it. I don't censor shit. Say whatever you want."
Cool. Well, I have a lot to say, and, no, the camera doesn't intimidate me, so let's do it. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. All right. So, tell the world a little bit about yourself. What have you been on? What do you do?
Sure. So I started out as an actor. So I and I began studying with Michael Givens in 2015, and I studied with him for years, and I was upgraded to a teacher. So I taught acting and hypnosis for actors and method acting, Lee Strasberg's method. I did that for years, and as while I was doing that and training with Michael and teaching and recruiting students and all of that good stuff. I also did wardrobe and I did makeup. So I learned from some of the best in the industry on this side of the world. Her name's Andrea All, and she taught me how to do makeup for film. So I did that. I also did some set photography, and so I enjoy being in front of and behind the camera. So never was in the camera department. So I did Glam Squad. I also did some wardrobe styling, and I worked with the likes of John Voight and Jimmy Kahn and let's see. Vale Bloom, who was on The Young and the Restless. So I got to wrestle with some of the big guys and style them. So that's a little bit of my background. And then I had a baby. And now I'm working on, my own following on social media. You can follow me at Seeing Red on TikTok and Instagram. And but yeah, so I'm looking to do more of things like this, but my first love is always acting. So that's where I come from. And I'm from Charleston, South Carolina.
You know what the funny thing is? When I first got into the industry, you and Givens did a class, and I actually logged into that class way before we ever started working together. And we were on there, I think it was supposed to be like an hour and a half, but it turned into like 3 because you know how Givens is when he gets
Please. That's standard. He's like a Baptist minister. You better bring a packed lunch, a water bottle, maybe a sleeping bag for his classes. You get the most bang for your buck because he's got a lot of stories.
I knew because my kids were like, "Damn, are you done yet? Damn, are you done yet?" And I'm like, "No, it's not over. I'm not logging out until it's over." And then what's funny is now we end up working together. It's so fun.
It's great. We're so glad to work with you.
It's a crazy world, I'm telling you. But my kids bugged the hell out of me that day. I'm like, I'm not getting off here till he's done talking. Period.
He's
You know?
long-winded, but he's very entertaining. How he's a storyteller, so that's his thing.
Mhm.
So imagine living with him. I know all his stories. I could write a damn script. I
Hey,
should.
yeah. So funny. So, okay, when you first started working, that's the one question I will
Mhm.
we could tell the world. You 2, how did you guys, I mean, was it one of those things where you were working together, you both were single, and you just kind of fell in love?
Well,
Or
so he was my teacher. So, and I was the teacher's pet. And so here, okay. Here's how it started. So I was one of his I was in the second wave of students in Charleston, South Carolina. That's my home. And so I heard about his classes. I was on set and I was really hungry for more knowledge. And I was like, so I really need to take training, but I want to take it from the best. And so Michael Givens is pretty much he's the most famous filmmaker out of this area. So um I said, "What better person to learn from?" So I was recruited by somebody at his school, and so I began a 6-week course with him, and I worked my behind off. I was really dedicated, but I never got any real feedback from him. And I said, do you like me? Am I doing good? You know how actors are. You know how we are. You're like, "Can you, like, compliment me or something or not? Or, like, please." So, little did I know, I was doing relatively well, so he invited me to a private it wasn't a private class, but it was for a select few students that were doing really well, and that's when I got introduced to hypnosis. And so he took me through the private moment, which is if you're a method actor, you know what I'm talking about. Um, and we really got close during that time. And then I came to a workshop and I was late. And which is not like me because I was the teacher's pet. But so I get there late and I stay behind and after the class is done. And we were talking and, laughing and stuff, and we didn't really know, what it was. And one of the students tapped Michael on the shoulder and she was like, "So, when you're done flirting with Nona Jedelle, can I get a moment with you?" And we looked at each other, we were like, "Are we flirting?" And so it really went from there. And then I assisted him. He asked me to come work with him on a movie in Kentucky. And so that's where it started. I did set photography. And then I met Andrea All, started doing makeup and hair and wardrobe, and the rest is history. So he was my teacher.
Is the movie already out that you guys worked on?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So the first movie I did with him was The Ghost Beyond with Vale Bloom and Trevor Donovan. And they're great actors, great. Um, and so we did three back to back. So we did The Ghost Beyond, then we did Riley's Peak, which is Surviving the Wild, and that was my first gig with John Voight. Okay, funny story about meeting John, if you want me to go into that.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
so
yeah.
so John I was pretty green. So I wasn't green. I had worked for years on set, but I had never been this intimate with actors. So I'd gotten my first, you know, film under my belt. And so one of the producers calls me and I was out getting wardrobe and makeup and stocking up because we were in pre-production. And he was like, and I back then I drove a super tiny little Kia, okay? Little Kia. The back handles on the back 2 doors were broken off. Okay, just to give you an idea. Okay. So I'm driving around in my little Kia, right, in Kentucky, and the producer says, "So, can you go pick up John Voight from this private, airport in, Louisville, Kentucky?" And I said, "Excuse me, what?" And so I go and I pick up John Voight in my little Kia from he was getting off of Trump's plane. He had just done a speech for Trump. And so, of course, little old me with hardly any experience with an A-lister actor and, he was just a doll. He was so sweet and down to earth. He took me out to dinner. He's like, "Everything's fine." He played on his phone in the back seat without any handles on the outside. So I had to roll down the windows and stick my anyway, you get the message. So, that was my first encounter with John Voight, and he was an absolute sweetheart, did not care, not a glamorous person, um, and yeah, that was my experience
Jump
with
in the front seat.
he didn't wanna go in the front seat. He's
Really?
like, "No, no, I wanna sit in the back seat." I don't know why, that was him, but, I did not want him to.
So, since I'm still making pages, I'm going to talk about a picture that is up with you and Jamie Kennedy. What
Ah.
was that?
Okay, so, Jamie, that was the film, Surviving the Wild, and so he was playing opposite John Voight in that film, and so so we were staying in a crew house in Red River Gorge, Kentucky.
I love the gorge.
It's so gorgeous, and this was literally he's extra. I mean, he's just extreme and so funny, and so the first time I met Jamie, he was in a bathrobe, and he had just landed, and so he was sleepy and but still cracking jokes, and so I shook his hand. I don't know, he made fun of me in some way. It was very loving, but he made fun of me, and, that's just how he does, and so we got really close. So I would go super early before anybody was up to go do his makeup at his cabin because that's what he preferred. And so we just hit it off. He gave me free tickets to one of his shows, and I think it was North Carolina, and I couldn't make it. But I knew that he wanted me to sit towards the front because he told me that so he could, use me as a punchline, in his jokes. But anyways, he was a complete sweetheart, and I did his hair and makeup on Surviving the Wild. And so, and we're connected on Instagram, and we talk, comment wise on his stuff because he has a podcast now. But that photo, I didn't have to ask for that photo. He's like, "You want a picture? Let's take a picture." And he took a selfie of us and sent it to me. So complete sweetheart as well. I had some really good experiences with the A-listers.
That's funny. I actually had just spoke about him in the last interview because today I've done back to back interviews, and we were talking about horror movies and
Mm.
where they're in the theaters and they're talking to the screens and the part about B Ride.
Oh my gosh, Malibu's Most Wanted, yeah,
Run,
that
bitch, run! They gonna kill you.
don't be hating.
Represent.
Mhm. He's the
That made
best.
me how.
So, just so y'all know, he's super down to earth and, follow him on Instagram, he's super entertaining.
That's definitely. He friggin' I don't know. Some of the I don't know if you've even seen the he has it's a comedy special. Oh,
Mm,
what the hell was that on? It was either Max or Paramount. It was one of them too. And I friggin' lost it
he's
at
great.
the shit he was saying. I'm like, "Oh my god." And you know how hard it is to work, especially when people are funny.
Yes.
It's hard to stay focused when you've got a lot of comedy going on, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Well, he's really good at situational comedy. So, like, the night I met him, he's in a bathrobe, and he's in character, whatever character that he was working on at the time. But he did play a serious role, oddly enough, in Surviving the Wild. He had to cry, and he did well. I mean, he's a completely different person. So he's a very talented actor on top of being a great comic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. He did another show with, Paranormal with Jack Osborne too. I watched that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like funny people. Funny
I do
people
too.
are just so much easier to be around than
They
people
are.
that literally have sticks up their ass. Basically, I'll just phrase
Yep.
it like that. I can't be around people like I mean, working one thing, yeah, I get it,
Sure.
but to
You
hang
have to.
yeah, it's just so much easier. So
I
much
got lucky. I got lucky because I was with, they were super chill. And I found now I had some problems with some of the women that I've worked with, actresses and stuff, but I've had really good experiences with male A-listers that are super down to earth and they just don't give a fuck. They don't care.
I'm sorry, that's one of the best attitudes to have because when you start
Mhm.
every little thing. I mean, I'm not talking about work, but
Yeah,
when you start caring about every little thing of what is this person gonna say? What is the public gonna say? This, that, I'm a
yep,
diva and you're just hard to be around, hard to work
right.
with. You need to come back down to reality. Check your
Yes,
because
yes.
when you get to that level, I get there's a lot of people out there, actors, directors, whatever, you know what I'm saying, that are
Mhm.
so up there to where they just don't feel like they're above people.
Yeah,
Not a good attitude, and that is
it's
how
not.
there's a lot of people, because once that gets going and word gets going, then you're screwed, you know?
Well, here's the thing, this is what I've noticed with that sort of attitude is the lower level of people, and I say to my students that there's no, small role, but there's small actors.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and what I mean by that is that attitude, bitter actor syndrome. And, even the producers can be like that, but mainly what I've seen with actors that are inexperienced. Once you get to a certain level, there's no reason to be a butthole. It's really not because you've made a name for yourself. And I think that that's where Jamie Kennedy and John Boyd had gotten to a certain level and they're just like, this is me, this is my brand, and take it or leave it. And to be honest, that is the attitude that you need to have when
Mhm,
you're going into an audition, when you're talking to a producer. Not that you don't care about the project. That's not what I mean. That's I'm myself. This is who I am. This is my brand, and this is what I bring to the table, and this is what I can offer you.
mhm,
And the disparity of or being desperate, I mean, producers can smell it. And we know. We know when you're scared. And usually when they're scared like that, they're little assholes. And there's no reason for that at all. We won't hire you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them don't understand, and this is something that was, when I had first started out, that was brought to not calling myself an asshole, but people go into these auditions and they think that everybody's against them, that the casting people are against them, that the director, if a director's sitting in there against them. No, hell
Oh
no.
no,
They want you to succeed
they
so
do.
you can move on with their day. You
Exactly. They don't if they want you to come in there and rock it so they can hire you and they can get a pat on their back because look, we found, the first couple of auditions, which usually doesn't happen, but if you were able to bring it and okay, here's another tip. You don't want to be the very first if you're doing an in the room audition. You don't want to be the very first. You want to be somewhere in the middle because a lot of times they're just getting their coffee, they're just sitting down, they're just getting situated, and guess what? They're not really paying attention. So you want to get up not towards the end, but you want them to be present for you. But yeah, so being desperate in an audition and is not gonna get you hired, bottom line.
Yeah. Yep. That is correct. It just, I don't know. But you also, another tip I feel like should be given is you don't want to be the same as everybody else, because people
Correct.
are looking for different, not the same.
Right,
And that
right.
a lot of people don't understand. They're like, oh, I got to do it exactly this way. I got to do,
Well, that's staying on brand,
yeah.
and, if you're getting the right auditions for your typecast, then you're really not gonna have that problem, but when you're starting out and you're auditioning for nearly everything,
Mm,
you don't wanna conform. You wanna conform to, say, the requirements from the casting director. They wanted a certain format. You don't wanna, like, bust their balls in that way and not do, what they ask. But as far as your performance goes and your acting, it should be consistent. You should be marketable as that certain kind of actor, whatever that is.
yeah. It's just, it kills it when you've got all the people that sit there and you're seeing, I don't know, say we put a casting call out right now for one of the projects we're doing, and
Mhm.
we would be having, I don't know, let's say 20,000 people show up for an audition, then you've got the different sections, whatever, and then
Sure.
you've got 150, 200 actors that are all the same. Same clothes, same attitude, same reading, same acting, blah, blah, blah. Who in the hell do you think I'm gonna pick? I'm gonna pick the person that comes in with some balls. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not saying don't do what you're supposed to be doing, but don't be the same because people are looking for different. You gotta be
Yes,
yourself,
they are.
not
Right.
not a sheep, not part of
Yeah.
I hate to phrase it like that, but that's what it is.
No, it's true. You have to stand out. I mean, there's so many actors, there's so many people that want in. And you have to bring something. It's the same with being a model. You can go to a go see and get hired not because of how tall you are, but because of your personality, and that translates into any profession, but mainly acting. It's that you have to know what you have and bring it to an audition. So and to your performance period. Um, I agree.
I do. I agree with that. I mean, completely. It's just, but there are some out there that are trying to get in. That's the one thing I've been
Yeah,
trying to understand. This isn't really and it's not an easy industry. It's
not at
not.
all.
I don't think you're gonna come on to a set and it's like serving coffee and a barista, or working at a McDonald's or something like that, because this is some backbreaking mind, you
Yeah,
know.
that's a misconception. That's a really huge misconception that, I was lucky. I was told in class that it's not glamorous. The work that you do, like you said, it's backbreaking and it's not glamorous. The glamour it goes on screen and nobody knows what you went through that day to get that scene going. And how many takes it took, how many cuts they had to do, and things like that. So there's that. But the glamorous part is the premiere if you're invited. And I'm sorry, the PAs, the production assistants, the people that do the majority of the backbreaking work, now not taking any credit away from the actors, they work hard. But that's the glamorous, the red carpet. That's the glamour. That one night. But everything else, I mean, it's blood, sweat, and tears, baby.
It's like factory type work.
It is. It is. And it's very militant. It's like that's why a lot of military people do so well in this industry. I have a friend, Jeffrey Carranza. He's got a nonprofit for soldiers, but he's a veteran, and he does so well because you have to run a set like a well-oiled machine and like a military operation. We have walkies, we have, certain times we have to be there, we have certain code that we speak in. So it's a closed set usually, and so there's a lot of things that go into it, but being from that sort of background and having a structure, that's the only way that you're gonna be able to, get your day made. Sorry. I got passionate about that one. Sorry.
I know it kills me. It does kill me because I before I ever jumped into the industry, you do watch the award shows and you're like, damn, that me, I'm always looking at outfits. Normally when I'm
Yeah,
watching back then, I was like, hey, I like that dress. Hey, that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
me
Also,
too.
but once you get into it, and then the more and more and more you do, and then on both sides, oh my God, you reality check.
Yeah,
But even running a business, that's why it was so easy for me to glide into the business portion, because I already ran a business anyway,
exactly.
and
Mhm.
acting, I can do both. It doesn't
Sure.
matter. You know,
It takes a very special person, and if you don't love doing it, I don't suggest getting into it. You have to really love it. It's really hard work. It's backbreaking. It's long hours. It's 18-hour days sometimes. I mean, when you're on set, that's one thing, but if you're a wardrobe person like I was or a makeup person, you're constantly prepping. Like, the actors would leave, and I'm ironing clothes, I'm washing clothes, I'm taking work home, I'm, shopping or finding, and the shopping, I like to shop, but this sort of shopping it's quick, it's you have like, I have to honor a budget. It's not like I'm going and buying up, Armani everything. No, no, maybe a couple of Armani pieces, but it depends on the budget. So you have to honor, you're spending other people's money. You have to respect that. You have to treat it like your own money. And you have to put the time into it because the actors know. The actors can smell your fear too. You have to be really put together, let me tell you. So, and you have to have, this sort of playful attitude with them. You can't show your stress. You can't show that to the actor. I mean, the last thing you want is to see somebody assisting you getting ready and they're bringing their shit to set, that they're going through. "Oh, well, I couldn't find you that shirt." You better find something and act like it's the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
That's what you do, and you have to wear a mask for
Well,
your
I
actor.
don't know if they're still running that rule now about the mask being
No, I mean like a mask, like you have to wear,
oh,
you have to
physical mask.
that's something completely different, but you have to wear physical mask, you have to wear a smile, you have to act a certain way to where if you're nervous about your wardrobe or the look, they know that, and they're gonna go to set, they're gonna be on camera, unsure. You have to be so sure about your work
Yep,
as in any department behind the camera. You have to be 100% sure and on your A game every single day. And that takes a lot out of somebody.
yep.
That's why we have hiatus.
And then
Go
Bentley.
sleep.
Madam,
There's that.
times I've called her or Givens just to get it all out because people wanna piss me off, you know? Telling you.
Yeah, and another tip is you should stay sober. Um, there's so many people, producers, actors, any department that'll ruin you personally. But once that gets out that you're like that, you're not going to get hired. So people have a misconception that it's a party. Well, there's a rap party, but you probably shouldn't get super messed up at that either because it's a work party. It's a work function. Don't
Yeah.
think of this profession as anything different than a corporate job. It is different, but your reputation is everything. And guess what? They're even more shrewd in this business. They'll look for any reason not to hire you. Not that they're mean. It's just there's so many other people. So,
Yeah, if you wanna drink like that, you hit the after party or the wrap party, then you hit the other party after that party, and then
exactly.
just don't Facebook it, Instagram it, or none of that shit.
Exactly. Thank
Keep your business
you.
to yourself.
That's true. That's right. Of
Just to be honest, because we know there are gonna be parties that you go to. I mean, I'm not saying every
course.
drinks where people are gonna be having fun. So we're not saying,
Absolutely.
don't have fun, but just
Be careful, though. Be careful.
don't have so much fun that you are literally being carried out of the party.
Just be responsible, okay? Just be responsible. My mom coming at me. My mama bear. Come on, people.
How things change though when you end up having kids or later on. You know what I mean?
I've
When
always been like this, but, it's so true because, I mean, burnout is huge in this industry that if you do drugs and you're trying to pull 18-hour days, it's please, you're not gonna last. Only the strong survive. Only the strong survive.
I know burnout's a thing. I've had to take not real long breaks. Normally, I just need a day or two
Yeah.
because
Usually after a long shoot, pulling 18-hour days, I need a week. I need a week to get reacclimated, and then I'm good, but I have to sleep it off because I mean, there's not much time for sleep. and there's not much time to do your hair and makeup either, so you're gonna look like, anyway.
Girl,
Just get over yourself, okay?
I don't do my makeup unless I'm doing this shit, the interviews and stuff, because you tell you what, when I am here and I am working and the producing the non-fun portion of this industry, because producing, let me tell you now, if you are not strong, you will not make it in that
Oh,
job.
no. No, you have to be a self-starter for
Yeah,
that.
I don't do my makeup normally unless I'm doing the interviews or if I'm going somewhere and I know I need to, because I don't care, because
Mhm.
I'm working. I'm gonna be running around in my friggin' tank top, shorts, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. Who am I gonna?
Amen.
My computer? Woohoo!
Yeah,
I'm no. And oh my god, burnout. Yes, that
yeah,
is. And you know how much I work. I'm
I
working
do.
10 in the morning until, well, unless I'm on set, then it's earlier. But
Sure.
10 in the morning until 4:30 in the morning every freaking day. I'm not talking I get a break. I'm talking 7 freaking days a week.
No,
7.
no, that's how you have to be because listen, you think you work hard, there's somebody else is working twice as hard as you. So to get into this industry, so you think that you're so pretty, your mama tells you you're pretty and talented. That's not enough. It's not enough, honey. I'm not talking to you. You know who I'm talking to.
Mhm.
So I'm sure you are pretty. I'm sure you are talented. I'm sure you are handsome.
But
But
can you hack it? That's the question.
yeah.
You hack it, because if you can't, you need to just stay in your lane.
Yeah. And there's really no real industry hacks that I can really give because, it is about the hard work and it's about the home study. You need to do your homework. You need to research these people that you're looking to work for. You need to know the ins and outs and you need to study. An actor that doesn't study or a producer that doesn't constantly do continuing education, they're gonna fall flat on their face because you need to be up to date. So that's my little, you know, I'm getting off on my soapbox, but you
It
really
is.
do.
Sometimes you don't. It doesn't matter to people out there. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how much you're always going to learn something different, and there's
Mhm.
always things that you probably don't know that other people have been in for a long time do know. And luckily, thank god, I've been pretty good with the business and the legal portions and stuff like that. I get it, because I was going to be a police officer, so I went to school, all them years, and I went 2 years med also, so I got 6 years of college,
Wow.
13 years. Well, now I'm up to like 17 years of business. So it was not hard for me to
Yeah.
convert over. But this right here, when you're on the other side, as far as producing, you are worrying about everything, everything, not to mention running two other businesses along with
Yeah,
one.
if you're any good, you're worried about, the
Uh,
stuff that matters. I mean, you have to. And because like I said, that is your image. And people, they size you up the first 30 seconds they see you. Especially in LA, it's hi, how are you? What do you do? And the question is, what can you do for me? They don't say it, but that's what they're saying is what can you do for me? And you have to have your little elevator speech about yourself. You need to know yourself so well and what you bring to the table because to be honest, if you don't have that ready to go and say, "Hey, this is what I do. This is what I can bring to you." Not in a desperate sense, but this is what I have. You're going to get eaten alive.
Yep. And don't say you can bring something to the table and lie about it and then get there and cost
Oh my
everything.
goodness. No, don't make that. And one thing that I like to if you do accents, make sure that you can do the accent if you put it on your resume. That's just one thing in particular that really irks me. That if you can't do a British accent or you can't do a Southern accent, don't put it on your damn resume. Don't do it. Don't do it because you'll get it if you don't know how to ride a horse, Michael has a story about that. If you don't know how to ride a horse, do not put it on your resume because you might get hired for that. And then you got to saddle up, baby. And you don't know what you're doing. So
Sneak
just be careful. It's
around
easier.
catch
Yeah.
you. That's what
It's easier to do that maybe in other industries, but you'll get found out in this one. You will. It's a very small business, very small. You think it's huge, but it's not. We all know each other. We all know each other.
yeah. I
I
mean,
just can't.
for now, just if you are trying to get to a higher level in the industry, do not call and piss people off over
No. Don't
trivial.
burn no, burning bridges is a no-no. I don't care what they said or did to you.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
no-no.
exactly. And do not call people you are not supposed to call and harass them over other shit.
Mm,
And this does happen, and you would think people would know better to not be an idiot.
yeah.
Because if you're contacting people that you shouldn't be contacting, people talk. We're going to know. And then guess what? You're not going to work.
Right, right. Yeah, if you're a pest. Now, there's one thing that I think is really cool. Like, you know, you have to have balls, you know, and women have their balls are up here. So, like, uh, and you know what I mean? Like, if you have to go after it, right? You have to go after it, but in a very logical way. You know, calling your agent every day saying, "Hey, so what are you doing for me?" No, no, you do it for yourself, honey. Nobody else is gonna do it for you, especially in this business.
And don't always rely on your agent because they're busy too. So, what you need to be doing in the time that you're not hearing from your agent is there's a thousand things you could be looking at. One, you could be studying. Two,
Right.
also be self submitting for projects. Agents don't have to do all the work.
Thank you. They
Just find
don't.
10% and you get 90% because agents, but then you all expect the agents to do 100% of your work. No,
No, they're no, no. Here's plain and simple. This is what an agent is. An agent is your legal representation. Let's say you submit to something and you get it, you land it. Then you call your agent and you say, "Hey, I need you to negotiate my contract." That is what they do. They make sure you get paid and they negotiate your contract. But your career is up to you unless you have a manager. But that's only you only get a manager and an agent when you're at a certain level. So, you know, you're putting the cart before the horse if you hire a whole management team and you've only done, you know, background work for, you know, your no. No. Sorry.
I'm
So,
so glad we're on this topic because right now, you know what? This is what people need to understand. Managers and agents are different.
yes, there.
Managers will lead you, brand you, and get you there
Mm,
to the water. It's up to you to drink the water. We cannot do everything for you. And I know this because I manage people, and
yeah,
sometimes shit gets real annoying because it is my job to get you there, but I
right.
need to do it for you. You know, that's
Well, here's the thing about a manager is and this is my take on it. So, you know, you need to be at a certain level before you hire a management team. You know, you need to be a certain level. You need to be a self-starter regardless, no matter what, because you want to have control over your career, first of all. You do. You want to have control over your trajectory, but listen, they work for you. Your agent works for you. Your management team, you hire the right manager that works for people like you. Okay? And don't get me wrong, when I say they work for you, that doesn't mean that you call them up and abuse them and say, "Hey, you know," no, it's up to you. It all falls on you as the actor. You know yourself better than they.
Mhm.
And you're submitting to stuff that you want in addition to them helping you, but you need to have some sort of career before you hire a manager. They're not going to get you the career that you want. You need to have a nice foundation
well,
for the
I have a couple of clients that I did take, you know, starting out because I figure sometimes it is a little bit easier to brand people from the beginning before they go the wrong way and then come back to you. And
yes.
whoever taught them is so warped that they don't even get it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To
No,
where,
no, that's something completely different and you're
yeah, I
exactly
mean,
right.
So what I do, because my clients, it is, I do the work to get them to where they need to go. But I can't do it all. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you're special and you're very nice.
Sometimes, because when they don't take the advice after I've given the advice 1,000 times, then it's just
Please.
like you're getting to the point where I feel like, sometimes you're babysitting, you know.
No, no, it shouldn't be like that. And then, if you're babysitting and you're one of those types of actors, I'm sorry, honey, you're too much trouble. If you're a baby and you're uh, you're a diva, we don't like that. Especially the people that are dressing you and doing your hair and shooting your scenes. If you can't have somebody in your eyeline. If you have all of these things, you're not a pro. You're not
Mhm.
a pro. A pro can do it, no, with people shouting at them, they can still do it. So it goes. There's a level of professionalism that you must reach, and if you aren't there, I'm sorry. There's
You are
plenty of
there.
people.
I mean, even if you are there, you don't sit there and try to treat people like shit. I don't
No,
care how high up the food chain you are.
no,
You don't treat people like shit. And
no.
you,
And that's something completely different. This is levels of professionalism, but being a butthole, please, if you're not any fun to work with, we can hire people that are hungry, that are fun, that aren't going to take themselves so seriously in a way, the day-to-day work. I mean, come on. This is a fun business. It's cruel, but it's fun. And you have to have fun. You have to
sometimes
love it.
cruel. Don't discourage them. You're gonna have them really scared. It's cruel.
It is cruel. It is cruel. If you're if it listen, if you don't have the look, they're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you. And then that means you need to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what do I have? What do I have? If you're trying, okay. Okay, let me give you a very, very easy example to understand. If you're a 60-year-old guy that looks 80 and you're applying for roles for a 30-year-old, Calvin Klein model, you're not okay, that's you were no, you're setting yourself up for failure, okay? And people are going to make fun of you. You need to know, you need to be honest with yourself as to where you are, okay? And that's not being mean. That's, true.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as your age range, yeah, I definitely believe that.
Or your look even, if you're obese, you're obese, and that is, you need to be upfront about that. I've seen this before, and listen, actors, they do lie about their height. That's okay. If you're a couple, you're like a half an inch off, you want to say you're 5'6.5", and you say you put 5'7", we're not gonna hound you about that. But if you say that you're 120 pounds and you're really 220 pounds, that isn't going to work either. And I've seen some crazy stuff like that happen. You need to make sure that you're honest with yourself and you're honest with the people that are going to hire you, because let me tell you, if you lie about an accent, you can't do an accent, they hire you for the accent, I'm sorry, you probably won't get hired again. You have
You
one shot.
When I did that, because it was so irritating when people were sending me their headshots and we'd had the discussion about when I went because I don't go Facebook Live very seldom, and people know when I'm about to go live, some shit's about to be said. And so normally it's so irritating because you cannot submit like a headshot to where you look like J Lo and then you come in looking like Mimi. And I'm sorry I did put this out there for the world because
Wow.
you're never going to get that job. You just straight lied to the people that are giving you the job, and you come in.
And please, we can tell when something's face tuned. We know, okay?
Yeah, don't over edit your pictures. I mean,
No.
yeah, I'm leaving a little bit of touching. Don't.
Listen, it's fine. It's fine to, like, you see this mole right here? When I have a photo taken, the photographer will jazz it down a little bit, but it still looks like me. Okay. If I have a breakout on the side of my face, that's not there forever. Edit that out. But changing the shape of your face, changing the size of your eyes, changing, stuff that doesn't make sense, please.
I have a scar. Well, actually, there might be 2 over on my eye right here.
Well, we can get rid of that with makeup. Don't
Well,
worry
I mean,
about that.
I'm not even worried
You know
about
what
it.
I'm saying.
It's just an instant reminder,
Yeah.
but right here, I have a scar because I had stitches there, and then right there, I had a scar. And so it's
Oh, I
just
got a funny story about a scar. Remind me after you're done with
this
this.
one wasn't very funny. But I mean,
Mine wasn't either, but
yeah, I mean, just like, who knows? That could potentially, if you're hiding little details like that about yourself, that could actually book you a role. You know,
sure, sure, the edginess could. And, tattoos are another thing, you need to be upfront about that. We can cover up tattoos to a degree. And if you're at a certain level as an actor, will cover up just about anything. I worked with Terry Polo on a Hallmark movie. And I think she has a full sleeve or something like that. And I was trying to find her a wedding dress because Hallmark film, baby, you gotta have a wedding scene. Somebody's got to get married. So her character was getting married, but she had like covered in tattoos, and we had to compensate for that. We had to make sure she had enough time in hair and makeup. We had the right sort of design of wedding dress that the producers liked at Hallmark. And, so there's a whole thing that goes into it. But see, we want to know about that, not so we can make fun of you, but so we know how to, you know, what to do with you.
could have put gloves. I'm a big glove person. I love gloves. So it would have been
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
like that.
but Hallmark was weird. They don't like plaid. I could go on and on about what they don't like.
Yeah.
So it was pleasing like a whole team of producers. It was hell. But we got it together, and actually I worked with a seamstress. She used to design for Carrie Underwood, her shows, and would make her costumes. So
Uh,
this woman we went to the fabric store. This is for Terry Polo. And we cut off the top part of the dress, and she sewed a completely new design to please these producers. So that's why we want you to be honest, mainly. So, like, for instance, I have pierced ears for a role I did for the Glorias, a 1960s Playboy bunny. They wanted to know because they had to fill in my ear, holes here. They filled in, a little, I was stupid, 17 years old and got my nose pierced. Then we need to know about this stuff.
yeah.
So, there's nothing wrong with that.
My ears are pierced too. I like
Yeah.
pierced ears. My belly button was pierced, but
Mine too.
mine ripped because the guy didn't do it. Well, it lasted. God, I got that when I was
Wait, did he do it with a gun?
no, 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 no. This was done when I was 20, and it actually just ripped recently. Uh,
Oh,
it was the way I was sitting. I put too heavy because I didn't remember that the guy didn't go deep enough down for me to be able to wear the kind of jewelry that hangs. So
yeah.
I had the jewelry on because I liked it, and it was one of the hanging ones, and I had forgot all about it. Well, I was cleaning, and the thing just
Dude.
I'm like, "Oh my god, it rips." So right now I got like this baby scar. You can barely see it on my belly button, but this just happened a month and a half ago. It ripped, but it lasted 20 something years. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, here's my scar story. So, the movie I did with John Voight, I did a couple of movies with him, but a few actually. But this is my first one with him. So, we're out in the wilderness somewhere, in Kentucky, like off a river somewhere. And, I'm sleep deprived and I'm running around like a chicken with her head cut off. I mean, just crazy. And he's sitting in a van with the producers, a warming van. And pretty much he saw front and center what I was doing. So I was working with Andrea All, and we were getting together, for touch ups and, getting my bag ready, for set. And she had this SUV that had the hatch that didn't go completely up. So it kind of hung down a little bit. And I'm a taller girl. I'm 5'8", 5'7". And so I go to the passenger door and I get something out of that. I close it. I decide that I'm gonna run around the vehicle, and I run slap into that hatch, right into it. My face, everything. It knocks me clean off of my feet. And I'm on my back, right? And I'm going, "Oh my god, what did I just do? What did I do?" And John, I mean, I think he had to have been 80, probably 78, 80, and he comes and practically picks me up off of the ground, and he's cradling me going, "Oh my god, we need to get her an ambulance." And I'm like, "No, John, I'm good. I'm good. We're good." And the producer's like got his arms crossed. He's like, "Yeah, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. John cares more about me. Just let me have this moment, okay? Let me have this moment."
Are you okay?
"Yeah, are you okay? Your time is money." I'm like, "Yeah, I
Let's
know."
go.
So I got up and brushed myself. I'm pretty sure I had a friggin' concussion. But anyway, that's my and I have a little it's a faint scar that goes across my face here. Good times.
Yeah, this one,
Don't
I was
run.
gonna tell you since that was even brought up. That was basically a domestic violence years ago. Years ago. I think I was 22, 21,
Gosh,
something like that.
that
Damn near
sucks. I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
had this bone broke. I had every eye, the white of my eye, all the blood vessels were busted. I wore sunglasses for 2 months, day and night. And
Jesus.
ended up with a scar here, a scar here. Yeah. It was not very fun for me on that.
Wow.
And
I hope the guy got, something that was coming to him.
yeah,
Good.
that was handled. But I mean, it's just like a lot of women, I don't know, they just don't talk about it. But
No.
me,
Mm-mm.
I'm over it because more of anything, it wasn't like, I don't know what they say, PTSD as
Yeah.
far it was more, he done pissed me
Yeah.
off over
Well,
that.
yeah, you're strong. You're probably one of those that can really handle trauma more so better than me. Like I have PTSD from, childhood stuff. So it's like and that stuff stays with you.
Oh,
But
yeah,
also,
about some of it sometimes, but I mean,
yeah,
you can't let it take your whole life because
no.
they win. What the fuck? You know what I mean? They win. So you move on. So yeah, I am strong. I've been through so much shit my whole life. I'm not even going to lie. But
Mhm.
I'm not going to sit here and dwell about the shit that happened in the past because I still
No.
have a fucking future to go. You know,
Exactly.
I'm sorry I'm being blunt with these people out there because I've lived it. You know what I mean? I've lived
Yeah.
it. So if you're dwelling on your past, you need to really start thinking about your future
Well,
because
here's the thing, coming from a hypnotherapist, there is help out there. There are
yeah,
people that live to help people that are victims of domestic violence, victims of childhood sexual abuse. I'm actually working on an event right now with one of my good friends, about the foundation is called Lauren's Kids, and it's a good cause, but you don't have to suffer in silence. There's so much talk about this stuff these days. You don't have to be ashamed of it. I mean, there's people that have been through it. There's people that want to help. So the help is there if you want it.
well, the court, when it all went down, they tried to make me go to the Women's Crisis Center. And I
Wow.
did. I went once and I sat there and I was like, I really don't feel like I need to be here because
No, so you're different. You're a special kind
I just
that
want,
that
well, I really want to kick his ass, honestly. You know what I mean? But I can't.
yes. But there are people that can't get over it, and that's where PTSD comes in, you know, that they want to forget about it. They really do, but they have these intrusive thoughts, they have things, they relive it, they have triggers. So, there's the and it's not even like the women's center. There's private practices, there's people, individuals that help people that may have been through it themselves, that have a special approach to it. So, not I mean, there's free options as well, but if you have money to spend on that and you have the time to give, there's plenty of help out there, so don't suffer in silence.
Yeah, definitely. I don't like the one thing that I've noticed, I don't like people coming behind me or
Mm,
just hovering behind me.
that's a trauma response for sure.
My
Yeah.
instinct on that, and this is as a woman and somebody who grew up with 8 brothers, when somebody, seriously, when somebody's hovering or behind me and I can feel it,
Oh,
that
yeah.
that's just gonna make me wanna swing. And it does. It's a nervous reaction or whatever, where you're just gonna
Yeah,
want so
yeah.
it's a good idea to come up behind people
No, no.
that had stuff go on, it's
Yeah, sure.
situation. I don't like that at all. I hate
No.
I
I don't
just
like people looking over my shoulder either, you know?
we're just hovering behind you and not saying a word, you know?
Yeah, like, that's
"You
creepy.
can stand right here."
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, don't. From Daphne and from Jedelle, don't do it.
If you're working with me, definitely don't do it. And if you're
Do it.
standing behind me, don't be there.
No. We'll send you home early, okay?
I don't know. It's just a thing. It's
It
always,
is a thing, I get it.
um, but we're gonna get off this damn topic and
Okay,
something happier. Damn
yeah. Okay, what do you want what else do you wanna know? What else can I tell you?
it. You grew up in South Carolina.
I
Yeah.
did, I grew up in Charleston.
Besides this industry, what else?
Okay, so I was lucky enough to work for an agency out of Charleston. You may or may not have heard of it. They're called the Lowndes, so CT Lowndes and Company. So I worked for them for years. I started off as a receptionist. Worked my way up. Had an accounts up to 1,000 accounts that I managed. I've worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield. I've worked for State Farm. So I've done that. Um, I've worked for Google as a business consultant. So I would, startups and stuff like that. I would help them figure out, the cloud services and what they need. So I've been a business consultant. I used to train horses. I was an equestrian for 15 years. So I did some of that. There's no money in that. You got to love that too.
Love horse.
Um, I love horses, so I did a lot of therapy with that. And something that I'm still doing is hypnotherapy. So I mentioned before that I do hypnosis for actors, but I also do therapeutic hypnosis, and so trauma, breakups, things like that. I that's a passion of mine. I love it. I got certified in 2018. I practiced way before I got certified. So I knew what I was doing when I got my certification, but that's something that I still do. And you can contact me via Instagram, Seeing Red, or you
We'll
can
put the
send me
link
an
up.
email.
We'll put the link up so
Cool.
anybody can reach you because that's what I love doing. Whenever I'm doing pages or anything like that, they're links. It's so easy. Or the link tree where you have a link tree and it takes you to every single one of their links to follow.
Right.
So
I
easy.
actually need to do the link tree thing. I haven't done that yet, but yeah, it's pretty easy to contact me for that. I'm a hypnotist. I've been doing that for years, and I can help with acting or trauma or breakups or just plain old life advice. I've been through a lot in my 31 years, so
Oh yeah. I mean, some people need it, but
yeah. And see, like I had a client that just simply wanted to better himself. And you could be at a great place in your life and you just want to take it to the next level. I love doing stuff like that. I love that. If you're already in a good place, you know, leveling up, so to speak. I'm very that's one of my specialties as well. Not only trauma, I can help you dig yourself out of a hole, but if you're already to a point and you're like, okay, I'm stagnant, I hit this plane and I really want to climb the mountain some more, I can help you do that as well.
You hear that? Contact her.
Hello, I'm here. I'm waiting for you.
They're gonna be like, "Damn, what the hell kind of thing are you doing on here?"
What kind of hypnotist are you? I don't know. You need to call me.
Anytime, come on. Day or night.
I'm on call.
Not a good
I'm just kidding. I'm
She
just
is joking, I promise.
send
Do
me
not
an email.
they're gonna be like, "Damn, yeah, these girls, women, girls, whatever, same damn thing." You know what I mean? We're gonna call them.
Mhm. Yeah, you just wait. Wait till this thing airs.
All right, Jedelle, I am going to wrap this up and
Well, it
end
was
it.
such a pleasure.
I love having women on. I've only had I've had a couple, 4 or 5? 5, and that's between all the segments. Need more
Wow.
because men, they're, like, always of course they wanna
Let's just be honest.
they
Men
have
love to talk about themselves, don't they?
to where the hell is all the women? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Let me help you with that. Let me help you recruit some people to interview some women, some strong women
I've
on
got a
show.
couple people doing that. I'm like, "Man, this all guys." I mean, don't get me wrong, guys, I'm not knocking you.
Oh, please. We love you.
I've literally got a 90-10 split, man. Guys,
Wow.
women, and this has got to be brought up at least to where we're balanced, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it, and I appreciate it. So I had a lot of fun. Let's do this again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, we got cleaned up this time. We're doing
I
good.
know. I know. Look at us. Look at us.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I just wanna say thank you, Jadelle, for coming on, and to everybody else watching, see you next time.
Bye. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, yeah, it's over, baby. You said that you love me, you said that you care. You say that you will die for me, girl, but you know that it's hot air. I don't care what you say, I don't care what you do. No need to look to your left, girl, cause nothing belongs to you. Now you try me, you know you can't run them games on me. Now you creeping, I saw you stepping out with that G, yeah. Say what you wanna say, do what you wanna do, play how you wanna play. It's over, it's over, it's over, it's over. Say what you wanna say, do what you wanna do, play how you wanna play. It's over, you know, you know, you know it, you know it. No more playing with my mind, no more wasting all my time, no more telling all your girlfriends that you're spending every dime. You know you don't get nothing from me. It's time to set your whole heart free.